Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. Give me a minute. I adjust this. So sorry for being a couple minutes late. I can't. It's not a episode of Pure Sessions without me being late once in a while. But I hope everybody is doing well. It's so nice out. I know last week I was like, "Oh my God, it's so boring out, so gray out." But now it looks very nice. I hope you guys can see like the sun you know, shining in. But anyway, hello. Welcome to another episode of Pure Sessions with your girl, Lana Pure. This is episode 32. I finally got it right. And this episode is titled Healing Your Soul. So I kind of wanted to I know a couple of weeks ago I mentioned that I was wanting to talk about this topic, but I kept pushing it out because I had, some guests on or I wanted to talk about something else. Not that it was like, less important. It was just it kept getting pushed back. So I was like, maybe now is a good time to talk about it since it's been something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I wasn't sure if I wanted to title it meditating with your soul or healing your soul. So I kind of was like going back and forth with that title, but I kind of like this title. So yes, this is episode 32. Is this recording? Yeah, there we go. It's episode 32 of Pure Sessions and it's titled Healing Your Soul. And as you guys know, it's live when I'm on time every Sunday at 6 Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube at Lana and Pure and live on Instagram at Lana and Pure's Corner. And as well as for those of you who are like me, who are always on the go or doing something, there's also an audio version or audio recording on Anchor, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, and kind of like wherever you listen to your podcast, it's available there. Um, under Pure Sessions, Lana and Pure, same picture, same name, so you can find me everywhere. I try to keep it, even though I have two Instagram accounts with my podcast. I tend, or I would like to, or I try to keep it as simple as possible because I know when you're trying to find something and it's like 3 or 4 different pictures and you're kind of like, this is too much work. So I try to make it as easy as possible as I can. So I think I'm still gonna keep doing the episodes every Sunday. I may move it to like Saturday, maybe. I was thinking of during the week, but during the week is a little bit more hectic if you're busy working or you're doing like your everyday things. And I feel like the weekend is kind of a little bit more relaxed and chill where you have like time to listen to it or time to watch it. Cause I know with me, with some of the podcasts and some of the videos that I follow, they offer it, a couple times throughout the week, but I preferably get to it during the week. And it's just, even though I'm not working, it's just, I don't know, easier for me to do it on the weekend, when I can. So that's why I picked Sunday. But yes, so it is very nice out. It's now like dark, but like 20 seconds ago it was really nice out. So I like that. But yeah, so this one is titled, it's not going to be long. I know I always say that, but it's not going to be long. Not that I don't have a lot to say, but it's just was a long week, even though it's Sunday and it's still in the week, but it was a very long week. So I'm just, I have like a lot to say, but not like how I normally say I have a lot to say or don't have a lot to say. And then it goes for over like an hour. So I'm going to try to make it, I'm going to try, we'll see. I'm going to try to make it like a solid 40 minutes. We'll see how that goes. Cause I always say I try to make it 30 to like 45 minutes if I don't have anybody on, but it always ends up being like 50 to like an hour and a half. So I'll try my best to keep it light. But yeah, but if you guys didn't see last week's episode because I posted that a little late, I apologize about that. I'm still, like I said, getting used to posting and editing and doing the lives and working with the podcasts episodes. So bear with me. Last week it was titled social media, and I had a guest on Instagram Live, Joe Figurino. We were talking about social media and like the pros and cons of social media, being on it for good, being on it just to be on it, using it for your brand, for your networking, for your platform. And then the conversation kind of just went, all over the place, which it tends to do. And we talked about, social media. We talked about family. We talked about COVID. We talked about, the police shootings and things like that. And it was a very interesting conversation. And I mentioned last week that I'm not on social media that much outside of doing the podcast because just personally, I just don't feel the need to be on it like I used to be on it 24/7. I'm just on it to do the podcast and things like that. But he was also mentioning, or he made a good point when he said, when you're trying to build, I guess, like your network, or you're trying to build your brand, is kind of like, it's like you can't kind of like take like a vacation, so to speak, like a hiatus. Like if you're trying to build something on a platform that everybody's on, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, blah blah blah, it's kind of, he said it's not hard, but it's kind of like impossible to not be on it as frequently as you should, because people after a while, and I know I have, they get bored. And I was struggling with trying to put out like the right amount of content, or what to put at what certain time, or what to post but not to post. I usually would just post random pictures or usually would just post what I'm doing. But the way he was saying to go about it, because he also offers coaching and network branding and social media and things like that, is, I think he said, to post like twice a week. So like once on your page and then once on your story. Because before I would just post like 3 or 4 pictures a day on my page. And then it kind of got, to me, looking back at it, kind of got a little bit repetitive, as if I'm just posting like random things. And I felt like, I wasn't seeing the progress that I wanted to, because I was watching other people who were kind of doing the same thing I was kind of doing, or kind of in the same boat that I was. And I was getting frustrated as to like, why am I not seeing like the fruit of my looms? Like, why am I not seeing the progress of what I've been doing so far, if that makes sense? And I got frustrated because I'm like, we're doing the same things. We're posting, we're doing podcasts, we're doing music, we're doing, lives and things like that. But yet the likes, or like the retweets, or the comments, or the feedback really wasn't what, I guess I wanted it to be. So I kind of got a little frustrated. Hey girl, hey. Um, how you doing? So that's why, another reason why I kind of went off not Facebook, who's on Facebook, Instagram, because I kind of get frustrated not seeing the feedback that I wanted to. So I kind of would stay like on it, like maybe twice a week, or maybe like an hour versus like 4 or 5 hours out of the day. Just was a little bit, I guess I was getting, I don't know, I don't want to say jealous, but I think I was getting a little peeved at everybody else's success. Whereas I was like saying, but we're like in the same boat. Like they were further along than I was. And I guess me personally, during the time when I decided to go off social media, I guess I didn't want to deal with it. So versus me just being on social media upset and not doing anything about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna come off social media, do like a cleanse, like a reflective regrouping cleanse, which is why I left during the holiday, and then I came back. What was it? January 6th, I think. That was the first Sunday in January. I don't remember. And honestly, like I mentioned before, I didn't feel anything different. It was literally the same from last year to this year. Like nothing was missed, nothing was new. Like how you feel like when you like take a break from something and you come back, it's like, oh my God, I missed everything. I really didn't. I really didn't miss anything. It was kind of just the same nonsense and the same um, words, and it was just like blah. So I'm trying now more to be on social media, but it's like I have other stuff that I'm doing, other stuff I'm trying to do, learning different things, trying out new instruments, trying out new occupations. And I'm just like, I don't have the time to just be on social media. Like I enjoy every week. I always get excited when it gets like Friday, Saturday, because I always enjoy coming on to do the lives. Because before I was just doing the audio of my podcast, but I do enjoy doing the live. It's cool. I feel like it's a bit more personable when you can, people can see, like I've mentioned before, people can see your faces and reactions and things like that. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's just my little 2 cents on last week's episode that was titled Social Media, featuring ɪꝏᴜᴜ, and it was episode 31, and it's on my page live, as well as Instagram. And you can follow Joe at ɪꝏᴜᴜ, and he also has a podcast as well too, Jersey Media. You can follow him there, as well as I'm sorry, scratch that. Jersey Media is his company that he does the coaching and the branding and the networking, things like that. His podcast website and page is Therapy Without a Degree. And you can find that as well. He's said that he and his crew is up to, I think, 190 episodes. And he said he's been doing this for like years, like 4 or 5 years. So I'm like, kudos to you, sir. So he has his episodes, and his episodes air. It took really hot, sorry. His episodes air every Tuesday, I believe he said. So definitely check that out. And before that, I had Taj Norma on, and that was titled "Flourishing Your Footsteps." And she's also another podcaster, and we met. Through our Bible study group on Wednesdays, which I didn't know that she did podcasts. We just kind of started talking, and then that's what she said that she does. She told me about that, so I had her on, and it was just a nice, slow conversation, talking about school, talking about following God, talking about the path, why she started it, things like that. And then towards the end, if you fast forward it, you can see she did about 2 poems. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. So definitely check those out. I think you guys will enjoy it. I'm trying to, like I said before, get on other shows and have other guests on, because I think, I don't mind talking every week, but it would be nice to have some to move back the conversation, because I think it flows like that. But like certain episodes, I don't mind just me talking, rambling on and on and on. So that's also cool too. So I talked for my normal 10 minutes. So with this episode, it's titled Healing Your Soul. And I felt like with all that's been going on, like I said, I've been wanting to talk about this topic, I think since like episode 20. And like I said, it just got pushed back. And with this episode, with all that's been going on with COVID and police shooting and just life, and either if you're working, if you're not working, if you're home, at home, if you're not home, if you're in school, if you're not in school, if you had to, you know, change your whole lifestyle, which a lot of us have had to do with everything that's been going on. I just felt like sometimes we just need to just take a step back, take a group back, regrouping back, a moment back, and just, oh, there's the sun. Hello. And just realize that sometimes we need to cater to ourselves, cater to our beings and our minds and our spiritual beings. And forgive me for this bump. It's like at the stage of like where it's about to burst. And if you're like scratching it, it just pusses. I'm like, let me just leave it. And the funny thing is, I haven't even worn makeup in like a year and some change. I used to wear makeup like a lot, the eyeshadow and the blush and the blush, Lord, the eyeshadow, the blush, and the lipstick. But after a while, my face, and I'm 27 and I still have acne, my face was breaking out a little bit too much for my liking. And I'm feeling like if I'm 27, why do I still have acne? And it would be like in the weirdest spots. It would be like here where this one is, or it would be like here where this one is. And before, when I was younger, I would have a lot of acne up here, up here, because I was always changing my hairstyle because I wanted to experiment with things. And for a while, I guess I wasn't washing it thoroughly. So for the time I had bangs for like that year, I guess the grease and the things just kind of like got all over here, little buggies all over here. And I had bumps. And it went away for like a moment. And I've tried different products. I've tried Neutrogena. I've tried Proactive, which I swear it doesn't work, but people say it works. It just didn't for me. I've tried Clearasil. I've tried just soap and water, but I feel like nothing nothing ever works. So I recently got this new, I think it's Neutrogena CVS brand. It comes in like, it's two steps, and comes in like a little red bottle, red pump box like this big, and it's like a cleansing foam, and you do it twice a day. And then I also bought Pond's. It's like a lotion that you put on after you wash your face, so it kind of like moisturizes and it cleanses your face and keeps it not dry and crackly, because for some reason I have like oily and dry skin, and then like sensitive skin at the same time. So I'm kind of like in that middle vortex of not knowing what to get, because anything I get either A doesn't work, or B just makes my face break out. And I'm sensitive, I think I've noticed over the years, um, to a lot of products and a lot of things that I wasn't sensitive to before. And I felt like if I kept putting, because my thing was I would get frustrated after like a week when things wouldn't work. And I'm like, well, on the commercial, it says that if you try this for 2 weeks, you'll have free acne. But yeah, I'm like, but it's been like 3 and I still have these same little bumps. And so I would look at and follow different products, different reviews, different websites, and look up different things that people had, like I had with the sensitive skin, the oily skin, the dryness, and things like that. Another thing is I had too that I didn't know you can get at 27 was blackheads. I don't like, where does these things come from as a female? I feel like they just, all around here. It's very annoying. Um, So I would try out different things at the same time. Like I would do like a Neutrogena face wash, and then I'd have like a clear cell scrub, and then I would have like a proactive like foam. So I would try like different things, and really nothing worked. So the recent thing, like I said, I had was Neutrogena, but more recently, I have now. It's called Was it Nurture? Nature by Nurture. So it's like NX, and I don't have it in here with me, but I can show you next time. I got it on Amazon for like $30, and it has like 4 steps. So it has like the cleansing cleanser, like a little pump that you put with soap and water. And then it's like 2 steps. Was it 3 steps in the morning and 4 steps at night? So it's like the cleanser pump, put that on, you wash your face. Then you put like this gel, gooey, like not cream, but like a gel on it. So it kind of like, I guess, tightens your pores or loosens your pores. I don't know. And then you put like this mask on after the gel, and you let that sit for like 10 minutes. And I guess that does what it does. And then for the evening, after that third step, you put on another cleanser foaming thing. And that kind of like, I guess, says it keeps your face moist or dry, I think. Um, Overnight. I'm not really good with the product details, so don't mind me. But I used it. I used it for like a month, and I did see a change. Another thing I noticed that I've been doing, I've been trying to style my hair off my face, like going back like this, because I noticed most of the bumps now are kind of like around here, around this area. And especially with the masks, wearing the mask for hours and hours on end does not help with your skin because it's just dry and things like that. So I did that. So trying to do different things that kind of work for me. And like I said, I looked at different products, and I can definitely mention the products that I've used and that I've seen that works. Like I said, everybody's skin is different, but I was trying to find um, products that were a sensitive, that had like not a lot of what's the word, fragrance and things in it, and also that worked for like the dry oily skin, like I said. And also, since I do have the dry oily skin, which is weird, my arms will always be would always be ashy and dry. So I had to also change lotions. I literally went through a bazillion different lotions. I mean, I'm talking about like Jergens, Vaseline, Lubriderm, Neutrogena lotion, like everything in CVS you've seen in the lotion aisle, I've gone through that. So most recently, when I was visiting my grandma, she had a pack of Vaseline lotion. But she had like the 3-pack because she also has dry skin. So the 3-pack, it came with the oily dry skin. That was the first pack. Yellow, there was like a white one, white pack. No, let me start over. The white one was the white bottle. There we go. Was for dry skin, because every lotion I would put on, it never worked. I would still have dry skin on the elbows, on the kneecaps, especially around the ankles. And now it's getting warmer. And nobody wants to see your ash. That's not cute. So that's the first one. And then the second one was a green bottle that kind of had like aloe vera in it. I noticed with my research the aloe vera, obviously, it's very healing and nurturing. So I would use that as well. I mean, she had that as well. And then the third one was Jergens, was it argan oil, I think, like that. So for sensitive skin, it was moisturizing and keeping it pure. So I recently bought that. And that has been working, I've noticed, because for some reason my skin just randomly went on this binge of being flaky for like 2-3 months at a time, and nothing was working, and it was looking gross, and it was like ruining my clothes. So I decided to get that, and that has been working. So with my rant, I recommend, if you have dry skin, like flaky skin, I have the bottle over there. I definitely recommend using Vaseline. It came in a 3-pack, and you've seen those bottles. It comes with a little pump. Definitely get the Vaseline lotion, and as well as if you have dry, oily skin, I definitely would recommend getting Nature by Nurture. It's on Amazon. It's like in like a purple box, like this big, and it's like NXN, and you'll see it for dry, oily skin, because nothing, like I said, was working, and I didn't think, it was too safe to put so many products on my face, and that was the issue going back with wearing the makeup, that I would keep it on and not have to keep it on and not wash it off. So it would just be dry and things like that. So that was that rant with lotion. So nature, nature by nurture. There we go. I had a blank moment for a second. Nature by nurture and Vaseline lotion. That's what I recommend using. So that's my rant for that. But I say all that to say, I don't know where that even rant came from. Oh, because I said the sun is out. There we go. The sun is out. No, that's not where it came from. Oh, my bump. Yeah. So, right, that's where this whole conversation started. This bump will not go away. And like I said, it's at the stage of, when you scratch it and just burst. And I didn't think that was a good look to come on the show with a red blotch. So, womp. Anyway, yeah. So, that was 10 minutes. But, yeah, so with all that's going on, and also that causes stress as well too, breakouts, pimples, bumps, rashes, things like that. And I feel like for me, since I'm more of like a overthinker, and I would always break out in my face, I'm like, maybe I need to like de-stress and reflect and regroup and not be so like tightly wound or let things um let things not bother me, but with all that's going on and being home and not really being able to see your loved ones, to do your normalcy, go to stores, restaurants, movie theaters, even go to like the amusement parks. Even though I know last year some of them were open, I didn't think it was wise to be at an amusement park. But even now, I've seen a couple of movie theaters, like the dining movie theaters, open. And I mean, I guess if you're kind of like spaced and they are kind of big, you don't have to be near anybody. I guess it's a good thing because I can't tell you how bad I want to get back to doing that, like head first in doing everything that I used to do. But the one thing I really want to do, even if it's outside, because it's getting warmer and nicer out now, is just sit outside and have an umbrella drink. I would love to have that. I mean, I'm so tired of just going to the store and buying stuff. It would be nice to have a fruity drink or somewhat of alcohol libation that has a little umbrella in it and just sit outside and enjoy that. That's what I really want. But until, I mean, you could do it now, but it's just like I said, I don't live by myself. I live with my folks. So I try to be cautious, and respectful of what they want, their wishes. And then, since they're in that age category, it's not really a good look to just be out living life where you have to come back home because you don't know who the people you were around were around. And like I said, I had to kind of like wrap my mind around that because, like I said, I've been working. This past March has been a year. Yeah, a year. Haven't been working since then because I used to work in retail. So I had to kind of like do like a whole 360 and try to find other things to do, other stuff to do. Because, in retail, you're around a bazillion people day in, day out. And I worked in the mall. So it worked for a bit, but it didn't last long. I think after we closed in March, I think I went back in the summer, but for like a couple of weeks. But after that, it didn't work. So I haven't been working since then. And I've been looking at other jobs and things like that, but nothing really was like nagging at me to like say you need to do this now. And now everybody is there's a ton of remote at home jobs, but most of them are like in sales and things like that. But versus where we were last year, where we are now, there are some things opening up, but I wouldn't recommend doing full-fledged what you used to, even though we want to. It sucks, being in this situation. But I feel like, we're so close to that like other side. If we can just like hold on a little bit, I think it would work. And I feel like with all being home inside, not being able to hug your loved ones, see other people interact, because as humans, we're meant to interact and see other people. That's just life and how humans work. It gets a little stressful because you have the same routine, you have the bills piling up, you're seeing the same faces, or if not the same faces, just yourself. You're not working, you're not doing things that are out of the norm. It's just steady routine for this past year and some change. And sometimes we, and I have fallen short of that, don't take the time to take care of ourselves because I was so busy wanting to take care of everybody else, which is a great thing because I'm like that as well. But also, who's really taking care of you? Who's taking care of your soul? Who's taking care? There we go, of your mind, your spirit, things like that, because those are precious things that need to be nurtured from time to time. I mean, if you don't, with anything, it will just break down and break down and break down. Anything, everything, and anything needs life and nurturing. And I feel like if we sometimes we lose sight of that because it gets. I can't even say the hustle and bustle every day because we're kind of living in like this groundhog day over and over and over again. And sometimes, and I know I've forgotten what day it is or what month we're in or how fast the months are going. And it feels like we're zooming by this year, but it's like not really at the same time. Um, I'll feel like we're getting a little further into this year once it gets to like June, July, because then my birthday is like right around the corner. But But I feel like for me, we were just kind of in this like sloth of just like, ugh, what's the point of like wanting to do anything different? Because we've been so used to just doing the same thing for this past year and some change. And it's like if we feel like if we step out of the bubble or step out of the routine, it's kind of like you don't want to mess anything up or like switch anything. It's kind of like weird. So I don't know. I feel like sometimes when we need to heal our soul, I do meditation. I used to do yoga. They say it's de-stressful. I don't believe it because I took yoga when I was in college for a gym because I waited till like the last semester to take a gym class, and yoga seemed like the easiest thing to do, but it's very stressful for me. They say it's relaxing. I don't believe it. I mean, maybe because I wasn't in shape at the time, but for me, doing those poses and stretching and bending, like I used to be able to do those things. I used to be able to do the bridge and the downward dog, all this other stuff. But it's like everything was like breaking my back. I'm like, why am I on this floor doing these poses? But it was a simple class. I mean, you literally had to do a couple poses and you had to write a paper on the poses you learned, and then that was it. I mean, I got an A, but it was just like yoga isn't for everybody. Just gonna say, if it's for you and it's working for you, then go ahead and have God. But if it's not, and you're like me and you're trying to realize why do I hurt worse than when I started doing this yoga, then don't do it. And I feel like I always say I'm like a 40-year-old woman, 80-year-old woman in a 27-year-old body because I'm like all my bones are like breaking and cracking whenever I'm doing something and getting up that requires movement. So I'm like, maybe I need to like get in shape, which I have been trying to do with my walks, my runs, and my jogs and things like that. I recently bought a treadmill, a small little treadmill, like the one you see on the commercial that you can just put together, and then when you're done, it folds up on the wall. So since it's nice out now and getting warmer out now, I'm gonna start running outside on the treadmill. Recently, I haven't been. I think this week I really wasn't out because of the pollen. The pollen has been so disrespectful this week, in my opinion. I think because we have a lot of trees around us, and it's literally just, like flying around and circling. And on my car, it's just crazy. And on our cars, it's just crazy. We recently got my mom got a car wash yesterday, and then that afternoon there was pollen everywhere. So I'm like, and it was supposed to rain today, but yet the sun is out and there's still so much pollen. And I feel like if we go to the car wash, it's just going to come back. So the pollen's been very disrespectful. I had my Allegra like on tap, but I just was like really not trying to run and jog with the pollen falling everywhere because where I go normally is in the park. So, there's like a million trees everywhere. And it's nothing worse than trying to run or jog with glasses that get foggy, with wearing a mask and trying not to sneeze with the pollen flying around. People will think you have COVID from a mile away. So it's like not a good look. And I'm not one of those to do the gym. I don't really see to people who are doing the gym, people who go into the gym, that's great. That's good for you. Maybe your gym is different or set up differently than where mine is, where I'm located. But the gyms, because I've seen some gyms that have pods or little bubble things around them. Other gyms don't have that, and I'm like, is it really worth it going to the gym that badly that you may not know what you might leave with because you don't know. They say they wipe the seats down or you're watching them wipe the seats down, but how do you know they cleaned the whole place the whole day? You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't know. I just don't see the need. Me personally, if you do it, that is kudos to you. But me personally does not see the need to just be in a gym in a surrounding of people who are sweating and gross and things all over the place and you're going right after them. Because I know there's no wait period. If there is, it's not like 30 minutes. So me personally, I'm like, is it really that worth it? You can find other ways, to work out and to exercise personally. I like the treadmill. That's why I bought this little one. I used to hate the treadmill because I'm like, I can just jog and walk myself. But I feel like it's just like I don't know. It came to a point before where I didn't like to sweat. Not because I was a girly girl, but I didn't like to sweat. So I'm like, let me just kind of like half-ass do this workout and kind of like half-ass jog. But now it's like, when you get to the point where you're just like not fed up with how you look, but you're just like you want to make that change because you're so busy talking about making that change, but you haven't making that change because you're just talking about making that change, if that makes sense. So I got to the point where like I really wanted to like literally do something about how I looked, right? So I decided to do the walks that kind of progressed to the jogs that kind of progressed to the runs now because, everything is in moderation. And I wasn't in shape to the point where I can just say, "Oh, I'm gonna go out running for like 3 minutes, 3 miles." No, I need to do my walks, then do the jogs, then do the runs. So now I'm at the run portion of the workout, and it's fulfilling. I definitely can say that I enjoy it. This is about to stop recording because I'm on Anchor. So hold on one second. Meow. It's like the one thing I hate about Anchor, and I say this every week, it only lets you record for 30 minutes. So I have to like stop what I'm saying to re-record and then go over again. Um yeah, so so now I'm at the point where I'm jogging or running, excuse me, running very lightly because it's just like, when you like have like a bunch of clothes that you've worn for like forever, because I never used to be like a jean person. I didn't like how the buttons would lay across my stomach. I just didn't like how I looked because my stomach was always not flat. So it would be like there and it would be like pushing up against my stomach. And I never liked the jeans. So I would always do sweats. I always do leggings and things like that. And then it got to a point where I was like kind of like at a moderate oh hey Val, I did not see you there. I'm sorry. My phone is really weird. Yeah, so it got to the point where I'm like, I was at like a moderate size, like a moderate weight size, and felt good about myself, felt good how I looked, or I thought I could wear certain clothes. So I was wearing jeans for like a time period, like the leggings or the jeggings or whatever you call it. So I was wearing that for a time period, and I was like, okay, this is comfortable. I could do this. I can rock with this, and then I also got to the point where I was able to wear like tank tops like these or short sleeve shirts. Because for like the longest, I never liked how my arms looked, in the tank tops and the short sleeve shirts because you can't really see it with the camera. But I had like a little flap. There we go, underneath my arm, and I didn't like how that looked, so I kind of would shy away from like tight clothes or tops or things like that. So I would always wear like I said, sweats or leggings or like overly big hoodies, which I did earlier in this year because it's COVID, we're inside, we're just inside. So yeah, that's that. So but now recently, at least for me, I'm trying to get in the mindset of being comfortable, in the skin that I'm in now, because I'm doing the things the right way. Because before, when I would try to lose weight, I would just not eat, or I would just maybe eat a meal a day, but it would be like something very light, like a salad or a pear. But now I'm trying to like balance out working out and eating right versus just working out, not eating, or not eating and not working out. Because there was a point where I was just like not eating and not working out. And, everybody would say, and it's facts and the science, everybody would say that, if you don't eat at all, all it does is just eats your insides and stores the fatty stuff and blah, 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 blah. But I would like never believe it. And I can't find the picture now, but there was a picture I had of myself like 5 years ago when I was in college at Rutgers, where I was like very thin. I thought I looked good. But then looking back at it now, I looked like literally a bobblehead. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, that's how thin I was because I'm tall. I'm like 5'11", 6 foot, but I've always been not like fat. I've just been, thick. So from how I normally looked, or to people how I normally looked, to how I looked during that time was crazy. I was fitting size top smalls, which I've never done since I was like little, or wearing like size 6'7", size 6'8" pants, which I've never done. I didn't even think that was impossible. But I actually, to me, from how I was looking at it, I enjoyed how I looked during that time. Now people say I looked a little sick and I looked a little crazy. I was like, I look great. But the thing was, I knew I lost weight looking back at it now. Like I lost like a lot of weight, not like weight, but like a lot of weight for my size. When I had this skirt I used to always wear for like years, this green skirt that was kind of like a high-waisted skirt that would kind of flare out. And when I wore the skirt during this time, it was literally when I looked at the picture of the skirt on my body on the backside, it was just flat. There was nothing. There was no curve. There was no hip. It was just like it just went like that. There was nothing there. And I'm like, well, that's crazy. Because everything I've worn, I've always had to get a bigger size because of my hips. But literally, it was just whoa. It was just nothing there. And I was like, I can't believe I lost all that weight and it was still healthy. Like I thought that I was healthy. I thought that I was like, oh my God, this is so great. You know, I can fit all these clothes, I can fit all these sizes, but yet people were saying, or I wasn't listening, and they were saying that I looked sickly, like I had well, I was like bulimic or something, but I didn't believe it because I'm like, I finally got to the size that I'm wanting to get to for like a bazillion years, and now you're telling me that it's too much or it's too thin or blah blah. So I didn't want to hear it. I didn't believe it, but looking back on it now, and I come across these photos on my Instagram or when I had Facebook or Twitter, and I was just like, I really got that thin. I was wilding out. I don't know what that was, but it was a nice time. But I knew it wasn't healthy because it didn't last. That's how I knew it wasn't good. It didn't last. Like maybe I was that size for maybe like half a year. It didn't last that long. And then as soon as I got home, from college, when you had food and money and a place to sleep, the weight just came back like 10 times full, which they say happens. So and not even just recently, just like my whole life, I've been struggling with my weight and accepting it, not wanting to accept it, trying to do it, trying not to do it, giving up on trying to work out, not giving up. So it's just like a battle with myself because I'm like, why is this like so hard and so complicated to lose this weight? Where people are doing it. Now, granted, people who have money are doing it other ways, and then the people who are doing it the right way are working out for rigorously from time to time. And like I said, at the time in the beginning, I didn't want to sweat, so I didn't really work out. And also, I wanted things like instantly, like I wanted results instantly. I didn't want to have to wait or work out for like 4, 5, 6 months and then see I lost 2 pounds. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to like work out for like a month and then be able to fit into these pants. So it was just a weird balancing thing that I was dealing with. And now I'm kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna lose this weight, I guess, during God's time. It's just whatever He says goes. So I've kind of been trying to accept, and embrace how you look, because you can be whatever size you want, from 0 to 400 pounds. But if you embrace how you look, and you have that self confidence, and it's like radiating from your body, and it's pouring out from your body, and people can see that glow, you'd be fine. I mean, it doesn't help, like I said, with social media. It doesn't help with TV shows. It doesn't help with the modeling agency, how it used to be, and things like that. And nowadays, it doesn't help with the people you're talking to or people you're dating or whatever. Because sometimes people lose weight for the wrong reasons. Outside of what I just said, you can be with somebody who doesn't like, how you look, and their words, their verbal words, are tearing you down, and that makes you want to not eat, or would make you want to please the person. So that can also be a factor too, who you surround yourself with. If they're always just tearing you down, whether it be your size or how you look or your thoughts or your opinions or your feelings, whatever, then there's no point in being around them. And I made that face because I used to be that person when I was younger, who would just be around anybody just to be just to have somebody to be around. But I had to realize, I'm like, but all you're saying, or all the person was saying, is just a bunch of negative stuff. And it took me a while to get out of that headspace where I thought that what they were saying was true, or what they were saying was like the only way to live, if that makes sense. Like, because my self-esteem during that time was very low, and I thought that what they're saying is true, like it's accurate. Like I'm like I should be so grateful to be with them versus they should be so grateful to be with me. You know what I'm saying? It took me some time to realize that I didn't need to like downgrade myself or downgrade my self-esteem or my values or what I was trying to do and accomplish to be with somebody, to just have somebody. And it took me a while to get through that because I'm like, oh, I finally have somebody. Let me do everything in my power to keep them. But at the same time, I realized it was never reversed, whether it be with this person, whether it would be with the weight, like nothing that I would do would work or would last or would please the person. So that also comes with, like I said, having that self-respect and that self-confidence, which, like I said, I'm building. Like I said, I had very low self-esteem, which I'm building. And a lot of the low self-esteem really came from like maybe 95% of the self-esteem came from being overweight and being a little bit bigger than I would have liked to be. So that's really where my low self-esteem came from. And plus, like I said, I'm very shy, I'm very quiet. So I didn't really say a lot of things. I wasn't one to, really speak up or speak what was on my mind, because I was always afraid that I would like offend somebody, or if I said something, they would either leave or not like me, or, not want to talk to me, or things like that. So I would keep it to myself. And then as time went on, or as I got older, things would build up from previous situations that had nothing to do with the person I was talking to at the time, which is repress things that was building up and then just came out, you know what I'm saying? So it took me a while to realize that I have a voice, that I should be able to speak because it's America and, it's a free country. So I just, I always say it takes time, and also say be careful who you surround yourself with, because, everybody doesn't have, um, the best intentions in heart. They just want to see you down with them, because that's really where the negativity and the bringing you down and the self deflect, not the self reflect, and the woes and the grayness comes from, is really them not enjoying, them not liking themselves, and them to stay in this space or this headspace that's not like uplifting and fun and candy. And excuse me. And when I titled the episode "Healing Your Soul," I mean, like I said, there's different ways you can interpret that, and there's different ways you can go about that. Healing your soul, like I said, could be meditating. Healing your soul can be, just reading a book, reading your favorite book that you haven't gotten a chance to because there's been so much stuff going on. Healing your soul can be just turning your phone off for an hour and not worrying about if you're missing a message or a tweet or a post or whatever, and just not sitting in silence, but doing something else that doesn't require your attention of so much energy. Because the phone is very much a lot of energy, whether you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, a text message, a phone call, FaceTime, whatever. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows this, and I've been faulty of that too, is a text can change your whole mood. A phone call can change your whole day. A post can just mess you up for a week. Whatever your eyes are seeing can deteriorate how your response is going to be, for the day going forward. So I would always say, maybe I could turn my phone off once a day, or maybe I could turn my phone off for once an hour. It doesn't have to be like a whole day, because it could be an emergency. I wouldn't recommend turning your phone off the whole day unless you're at home, or you're with the person that would need to reach an emergency. But maybe you can turn your phone off for like an hour, or and just do something else that has nothing to do with your energy and your time on the phone. And I've learned to do that. Sometimes I'll do it for a couple days because I'm with the people who will need to get in touch with me. And I know it's crazy. And people are like, "What? You still have that?" I do still have a house phone. So anybody who needs to get in touch with me, my family, what have you, can call the house phone. And I honestly, it took me a while to be able to do that. Even when I wasn't talking to somebody, or was talking to somebody, or whatever, I would be like, "Oh, I can't turn my phone off, because if I do, I'll miss this post, or if I do, I'll miss this text and things like that." But I'm like, if you can't turn your phone off for a couple of days, then what does that really say? Not about you, just about society. If we can't really, turn our phones or electronics, as they say, off for just a bit, what does that really mean? Because is it really that serious? If you had your phone on, like by you, could you not still do the same things you could do if your phone was off? It's just the fact that we're not checking it or looking every 3 seconds, because that's really what we're doing. We're doing other things, trying to have a life, trying to integrate and things like that. But yet we're just like, oh, I missed that post, or what does that text say? And sometimes the phone, like I've said, I've heard my mom say a couple of times, is very draining. It's very draining, because it's just like I said, anything you see on a phone can change your mood, whether it's a text, like I said, a post, a phone call, or just like a message from like 4 or 5 days ago you look back on and it just rubbed you the wrong way. And I've done that. Sometimes we look back on a message or something we should have said or didn't say, and then it just rubs us the wrong way and just like messes up our whole aura. Like we're just like fine and peaceful and calm, even in the midst of all of COVID. And we're just like trying to just like ugh, get through the day, get through the week, get through the month, whatever. And then we see something, or we look back on a message, or somebody out of nowhere texts us or calls, and you're just like, "Ugh, but I was just feeling good, right? And I was just feeling powerful, and I was just praying, or I just meditated, or I just read the Bible, or things like that." And then yet this one person, or this one post, or this person reposted or tweeted or whatever, just kind of set me back like 5 weeks. And it's like, but why? Why did whatever that person say or post have to like jig with your aura? You know what I'm saying? That's why I said your aura, your vibe, your space, your heart, your spirit is pure. Your mind is pure. It's sacred. It's sacred. And it should be taken, not seriously, like, oh my God, but just taken in account that it can only take so much, like a person. It can only take so much when either we have a breaking point, or B, we just shut down. It's always that scale. So it's always good to, like I said, regroup, reflect, and rewind. That's my 3 R's, like I started with in the beginning when I first started doing the podcast. It's just sometimes we just lose sight of that because there's just so much stuff going on and we don't want to deal with it. It's like, but why would we want to deal with it when we're dealing with it this way? And it sometimes may not be healthy the way that you think you're dealing with it. or you may think that it's been working for you for this amount of time, but it actually hasn't because you still get, um, bothered by what somebody says. They can either be talking about you, or that can I be doing the subtweets, the sub posts, whatever. It could just be something else that you see, and it's just like, well, that happened, and you're like, but how did that happen? How did that one thing just, mess up what I had going on, like the path, the journey. That's why I always say it's good to be around the right people. Now we can't because of COVID, but before, or your circles, or what you look at, or what you put in your mind, what you watch, what you see, what you listen to, it's always important to put the right things in your psyche. I know I sound like my mom and I said this, but it's important to put the right things in your psyche because you never know what you're seeing could do to you later down the line. It may not have to happen. It doesn't have to happen instantly, but it could happen 2, 3 weeks later, or it can happen at the end of the day. You're having a great day and you see something and it's just like, well, what happened? And your whole mood's messed up. And then that energy gets bounces off the wall and bounces off to other people in the house or who's around you. And you're just like, but what happened? And sometimes it could be depression. It could be bipolar, or it could just be just in a funk. And sometimes we are entitled to be in a funk from time to time, not stay in the funk, but be in the funk. And again, if you have depression, or you have anxiety, or you have bipolar, or you are bipolar, or you have other issues, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to downplay that or anything. What I'm saying is, if you're just in a funk, or you're just angry or mad all the time, and not just because you have a condition, but just because you just want to either A, argue all the time, B, always want to cause an issue, or C, always rehash things up, that's not really healing anything. That's not really moving on or really solving anything if you're just always living, in the past, or living in the world, or the world of receipts. That's what I like to call the world of receipts. When you want to just keep throwing in the face of the same thing over and over again, just to have the same conversation, because you're really just having the same conversation over and over again. You don't realize it, I'll tell you. You are having the same conversation all over again. No matter what you say, where you say it, how you say it, it's the same conversation, because for some reason you just can't get over the fact that this happened, and you don't like how you don't like the way the person dealt with it. Great. I know that sucks. I've been there. But once you talk about it and you have the conversation, it's done. Why are you still bringing it up? Either A, you didn't say what you had to say in the beginning, or B, you just want to stay in that headspace, which is not good. And I've been there. You just want to stay in the headspace of arguing, or you just want to stay in the headspace of bitterness, or just not depression, but just like bad vibes, bad aura. Who wants to be around bad vibes and bad aura, especially with all that's been going on? I don't really think it's wise for your health. I don't think it's wise for the other person you're dealing with, or whomever you're doing, whatever you're doing. It's not wise to just be in that same headspace. I feel like we need to just expand what we tolerate, and expand what we let in the psyche. You know what I mean? So I feel like sometimes we need to just turn the phone off, turn Instagram off, turn the TV off, maybe not talk to that person for a day or two. And sometimes when we end up doing that, people get offended because they don't know that you're either A, going through this, or B, you're just taking a hiatus. And that's why I've always been a person of clarity and communication, because if you let the person know and saying, hey, I had like a bad week, and for the next day or so I might be a little quiet. It's nothing against you. It's just um something I'm dealing with, then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And sometimes we're like expecting the person to give us an explanation of why they were ghost, or why they were hiatus for like 2, 3 weeks or whatever. But sometimes we don't need the person does not need to give you a reason why they're doing what they're doing, because they're dealing with their own things in their own way. And sometimes we get offended on why, you're doing that to me, but it's not about you. And I've had to learn that. That's why I'm speaking so harshly, because I've had to learn that sometimes we get offended, upset, like, wow, we were talking and now I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks, whether it be girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, cousin, sister, whatever, brother. But it's like the person could be going through things that this is how they've been dealing with it. This is the way they go about it. And 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you, even though sometimes it might. Sometimes they just need that space and they need your room. But some people are just busy, like my brother. We'll talk for like, say, 2 days straight or whatever. And that's like rare. Let me tell you, we'll talk for 2 days straight, and then he'll just go ghost for a month. And then he'll respond like a week after that month to a message that we were talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, yeah, right. So, but that's the thing. He's my brother. And I know how he is. I've known him my whole life. So it's like, it really also comes down to the person you're dealing with. Like if you've known them, like your best friend, your best girlfriend or whatever, you've known her for like 6 years and you know she's like a flake, or you know she's like extra, you know she doesn't respond quickly to messages, or she'll take months or weeks or days to respond to a message. But you know that person, y'all have established that rapport. That's just how it is. But if it's like a new person, a newcomer, a new candidate, and they're just doing this random wild stuff, it's like, maybe that person isn't not worth my time. Maybe that person is going through things. Let me just let them rock. And if and when, they come back, I'll be here. That's the thing. A lot of times we're just worried that if like we've said something that offends a person, or we worry that, oh my God, if they don't come back, I can't move on. But it's like sometimes people deal with things every day, every hour, every minute, and this is just how they deal with it. And it's not, anything against you. They may just disappear for like 2, 3 months or 2, 3 weeks. You don't know why, but when they come back and they give you an explanation, it's your choice to deal with that or not. You know what I'm saying? Like they can be gone for 2, 3 weeks and you don't know why. But once they come back and explain to you what happened, you have the opportunity to either say, hey, nah, I'm good, or B, okay, I understand. That makes sense. But you can't like get mad still or be upset still after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Like after they already explained to you why they did what they did. You still can't be like bringing it up like 3, 4 days later. Like, remember you did that a couple of days ago? But it's like, I already explained to you why. And you said, I accept it. Or you said, okay, that's cool. But it still seems like it's still a problem. And then that's when other issues occur. So that's just my thing. I think it really depends on the person that you're dealing with, and also depends on how they are. Like I said, so I use my brother for an example. I know him. I know how he is. I use my cousin for example. She'll take forever to respond, but it's just like I know that's how they are, and like it really just comes down to being okay with not being the center of the attention, meaning not you being like all about you, but they may just not get back to you when you would like them to, if that makes sense. Like I'm a fast texter, whether I'm busy or not. Like I just am a fast texter. Um, like not fast like every 2 seconds, but like if we're having a conversation, I'm gonna respond back because that's courteous. Like if we're having like a serious conversation, I'm gonna give you the time that you gave me the time. I'm gonna respond back to you. Now, if I get busy, I'll let you know and say, hey, I'm busy. I'll get at you later. But if we're just randomly, like regularly texting, like, hey, what's going on? What's up? How you been? Blah, blah, blah. And I'll take like an hour to respond. That's maybe the max, but it won't be like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours without me saying, oh, I got busy, or oh, I'm about to be busy, just letting you know. Like I said, I'm all about clarity and communication. Once you tell me this, or once I tell you these things, how I'm doing, what I'm doing, what's going to happen, then you can choose to go about it your own way. But if there's like no communication, if there's just like no letting people know whatever, then that's another issue. But it's just more so like some people feel like, and I've talked to different people, either A in my group chat or B in the Bible study. Sometimes people feel like they don't owe you the explanation of letting you know that they're going to be busy. And I say that not to be like funny or rude. It's just some people feel like, well, why should I need to tell you that I'm busy for these next couple hours? And I'll just get back to you when I can. It's like it's like we're not tied down. We're not like together. It's just like, I'll let you know, I'll let you know. And so, like I said, it really depends on the person, how you are and how you react to it. After they tell you and you say, okay, I accept that, then that's cool, that's done. But if you still are upset about it, let it be known then, but not after the fact, if that makes sense. So I feel like when I say we're healing our souls or heal your soul, really sometimes it's okay to not be on your phone. It really is sometimes okay not to be on Instagram. Sometimes you need to just be off for a couple of days because not that there's an issue or problem, but just it is nice to just restart, recharge, and then come back to it. It's not going anywhere. I promise you. And I learned that when I left in December and came back in the new year, everything was really the same. Nothing was like, oh my God, I missed this for like these 3 weeks and I can't. Oh my God. But sometimes it's good to meditate, sometimes it's good to do yoga, sometimes it's good to just center yourself and just be like, just sometimes just sit in silence, not for like 4 hours, but like for 10 minutes to just breathe. That I downloaded the calming app, the one you see in the commercial. You do 30 seconds of calm. And I do that once a day on the app. I press it and I just pretend I'm somewhere else. You can pick different places in the world you want to be at, and you just calm for 30 seconds. I have the other app, the Breathe app, on my Apple Watch. I'll do that every day. I think it's like for like 5 minutes. And you click it and you breathe for like 5 minutes, in and out, in and out. So I do that. Like I said, I'll read when I wake up in the morning. I read my not Bible, but my daily word. I'll do that every day and go about my business because it's just recharge, regrouping, refreshing, and restarting. So I feel like it's always good to do that. Just like always on the go, always doing things over and over and over again because sometimes you will break. You will break. It does happen eventually. And I feel like the minute we, or at least if we try it, at least I don't want to say once a month because that sounds a little bit like impossible. Maybe twice a month. Twice, sorry, not once a month, but once every 2 months, you just take a little pause or take a little hiatus from social media, your phone, people, whatever, whatever, and just be to yourself for a couple days. Like you've heard people doing like going to those spas or those retreats. You just do your own little retreat in your own space and just relax your mind, regroup your heart, reheal your soul, and go about your business. So you're fully recharged for the next thing because let me tell you, the devil is alive and it comes in different spaces, places, people, and things. So we always need to be at the ready and energized and fully whole to deal with these things. Because if you're vulnerable and you're weak and you're tired and you're just open, a lot of things can happen that don't need to happen. So I always say to recharge and regroup, which is another reason why I think I'm going to keep the show on Sundays because I feel like Sunday is the end of the week, but also is the new beginning of a new week. And I think it's a great way to regroup and recharge with the episode, with the show, with what I'm talking about to your week. Like I said, I normally didn't like to do it on Sundays, but I feel like since it's in the evening and people kind of still out-ish and getting ready to do, their daily dues, I think it's a good way to end the week as well as start the week. Because I feel like sometimes we just, like I said, lost in the sauce. And sometimes it's nice to just wind down, listen, have your little glass of wine or tea or whatever, and just breathe. It'll be okay. So I always recommend what I do now for me personally. Um, Maybe every couple of weeks, I'll turn my phone off, say like, and it's always on the weekend. I don't know why. I'll like towards the weekend, not in the weekend, but like I'll turn my phone off after Thursday and turn it back on Sunday morning because on Thursdays I apply for my unemployment, so I need that on for the alarm, and then I'll turn it off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and back on Sunday for the show. And then I'll keep it on for a couple days. Or sometimes I'll do it Monday to Wednesday. It really depends on how I'm feeling. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't need to be on the phone. Like I'm not talking to anybody. I don't need to do anything. Nothing's happening. Nothing's to post or whatever. I don't need to be anywhere. No appointments. I'll just turn my phone off and be fine. Like I said, everybody who needs to get in touch with me is here. So I'm good. I'm good. So that's just my thing. That's what I do about every couple of weeks. And also I keep when I'm done with the show every Sunday, the other thing I've done for the past probably since January after the show, so I'm not tempted. And it took me a while, like maybe like a couple of days. I'll offload the Instagram app and only re-download it for the show. So for the whole week, so from after the show on Sunday to Sunday morning the next week, Instagram is off. So I'm not on it to do it or anything because I'm like, if you can't be off Instagram for a couple days and you are gonna literally sit there and offload and reload this app, then something's wrong. I don't even have Twitter anymore. Like it's there, but I'm not on it. I don't have Facebook, and people really aren't on that, but I don't have that at all. Snapchat, took that off because it's like, what are we doing? It's just stupid now. So that's the other thing that I do. And 3, like I said, I read my book. I read my daily word in the morning. And 4, like I said, I do meditate. And 5, I've recently gotten to doing the crystals, breathing, regrouping and things like that. So I've been doing that. So it's like my 5 things. So every 2 weeks. So the first thing is every 2 weeks, I turn my phone off for a couple days. The second thing is I have the Instagram offloaded after the show. The third thing is I read my daily word. The fourth thing is I do meditation. And the fifth thing is I have my chakras and my rocks and things like that. So it's just, the 5 things. I feel like if you have at least one of those things, I think you'll be good. But I just wanted to come on here real quick. Like I said, look at that. Not even a full hour yet, almost about to be done. But I just wanted to come on here real quick and just say those things. I think it's good if you don't take anything else from this show or this episode, I would say, then anything else I've said is to just breathe. once a day if you can. Just breathe, regroup, just for like 2-3 minutes, and then go about your business, because I promise you it'll be okay. But yes, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode 32 of Pure Sessions with your girl Lana and Pure, healing your soul. I air every Sunday live, Instagram at Lana and Pure's Corner, and YouTube Lana and Pure at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Anchor, all that stuff on the audio version. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys get out and stay safe and stay cool. You know what I always say, do what you did today that you couldn't do the day before, and have a blessed Sunday. And thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys so much. Be blessed.